If you're charged with a crime in New Jersey, did you know that there's two presumptions that you absolutely must know about? The presumption of incarceration versus the presumption of non-incarceration. Well, if you haven't heard of it, don't worry. I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about the presumptions of incarceration and non-incarceration in the state of New Jersey. Hi, I'm Daniel M. Rosenberg. I'm a criminal defense attorney and the founding partner of Rosenberg, Perry & Associates, and I talk to a lot of people about criminal charges every day. And one of the most significant things that we talk about is the presumption of non-incarceration. And that's because when people call and they ask about a felony charge, oftentimes one of their biggest concerns is, am I going to go to prison? Let's delve into the presumption of non-incarceration and the presumption of incarceration. So what is the presumption of non-incarceration? If you are charged with a third or fourth degree crime and you are convicted or plead guilty of that crime, there is a presumption that you do not go to prison. And that's a presumption in the law that requires the judge not to send you to prison. Let's delve into that a little bit more. On a crime of the third degree, you're exposed to between 3 and 5 years in state prison. On a crime of the fourth degree, up to 18 months in state prison. But if you enjoy the presumption of non-incarceration, you will never be in prison on either of those charges if you don't have any prior convictions. Let's drill down on the presumption of non-incarceration, because that doesn't mean that you can't be taken into custody. What it means is you cannot be sent to prison. Prison is where people are sentenced when they must serve over a year in custody. County jail is where you serve a sentence of less than a year, or you're being detained on pending criminal charges. So what does all that mean? That means that on a third degree crime, you're exposed to between 3 and 5 years in state prison, but you will not go to state prison. In fact, the judge cannot order you to state prison. But while you can't be sentenced to state prison, a judge can sentence you to a period of probation, and as a condition of that probationary term, sentence you to up to 364 days in the county jail. What this means is if you are charged with a crime of the third degree or a crime of the fourth degree, and you have no prior criminal history, your maximum custodial exposure is 364 days in the county jail. So now that you know what the presumption of non-incarceration is, let's talk about the presumption of incarceration. So on a third or fourth degree crime, you enjoy the presumption of non-incarceration. On a crime of the first or second degree, there's the opposite presumption. There's the presumption of incarceration. So on a crime of the first degree, you're exposed to between 10 and 20 years in New Jersey State Prison. Crime of the second degree, between 5 and 10 years. If you are found guilty of a crime of the first or second degree, or you enter a plea to a crime of the first or second degree, and your plea agreement doesn't state anything to the contrary, you are presumed to go to state prison, meaning that the judge is required to order you to some term of state prison. Even though there's a presumption of incarceration, that does not mean that because of these charges, you're absolutely going to prison. We have plenty of clients who are charged with a first or second degree crime who ultimately do not spend a day behind bars. And that's because there's lots of things that can be done to address the charges and the presumption. These are just some of the things that you should be aware of when it comes to crimes in New Jersey and the presumptions of incarceration and non-incarceration. So if you or someone you know has been charged with a crime in New Jersey, whether it's a third or fourth degree crime or a first or second degree crime, contact our office. There's lots we can do to help, and we're happy to assist in any way that we can. And if you like the contents of this video, please like or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if there's a topic you'd like to learn more about, please feel free to contact our office or leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. We are criminal trial attorneys. We have your back. That's what we do.